From Party Foul in Murfreesboro, here's Blue Raider Extra Point.
And welcome to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin here as always with Chase Owens and with Will Stevenson. We're here back at Party Foul in Murfreesboro on another college game day morning, ready to give you all the Conference USA and Blue Raider info for today. Let's go ahead and kick things off. First up, we have Nathan Vaughn and the starting lineup.
The starting lineup.
Last week's upset-filled action with ranked teams Oklahoma and LSU losing their first games has only upped the ante for another week of high-profile games across the country. Alabama flashed that they are still the final boss of college football with a dominant win at Missouri with Mac Jones, Jalen Waddle, and Najee Harris running wild on the Tiger defense and Dylan Moses and company shutting down the offense. Now the Tide's real first test will come against experienced Aggie quarterback Kellen Mond this week. A&M had a sloppy debut in its win at Vanderbilt. Those mistakes will have to be cleaned up and the whole team will need to play the games of their lives in order to top the Tide at Bryant-Denny this Saturday. It has been almost a month since Memphis beat Arkansas State, but the Tigers finally hit the field again this Saturday to face the 3-0 SMU Mustangs in Dallas. Memphis has struggled with a COVID outbreak on the team over the last few weeks, forcing them to cancel 2 games. But Tiger head coach Ryan Silverfield has gone on record saying most of the team will be back for the contest versus the Mustangs. SMU has been hot over the last few weeks and is coming off a blowout win versus Stephen F. Austin last week. Shane Buechele will duel Memphis quarterback Brady White in what looks to be a point fiesta. Georgia was behind for most of its game against Arkansas before a late surge put them over the top in Fayetteville. The Bulldogs will now have to make a decision at quarterback after DeJuan Mathis was pulled for Stetson Bennett early in the win at Arkansas. For Auburn, the Tigers had a big surge in the fourth quarter as well to put away Kentucky in its season opener. Quarterback Bo Nix tossed 3 touchdowns, finding favorite target Seth Williams for 2 of those scores. This game is a key contest in the race for the SEC championship for both teams, as well as playoff contention.
Thanks, Nathan. As a great lineup of games, try to catch as much as you can on this college game day morning.
Absolutely. Chase, what are your can't-miss games for this week?
This weekend, I actually have Georgia versus Auburn. JT Daniels just got cleared by the NCAA, and so he'll suit up for quarterback for the Bulldogs this weekend. And then also, you can't miss it, 100 Miles of Hate, MTSU versus Western Kentucky on MTSU's homecoming. I mean, it's just going to be an exciting one to watch.
And both teams still looking for their first win.
That's true. We have to take a quick break, but coming up next, we have the Big Blue Review. Stay tuned for more on Blue Raider Extra Point.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin here with Chase Owens and with Willow Stevenson. We're going to go ahead and toss it on over to the Noahs at the Horseshoe. Here they are with the Big Blue Review.
The Big Blue Review.
First thing we're going to review today was the heartbreaking loss we suffered against UTSA last Friday.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough one for our Blue Raiders.
You know, I really thought we were going to win our first game of the season, but it came down to failing a 2-point conversion to tie the game late in the fourth quarter. The final score was 35-37 in the Alamodome.
Man, we really played a lot better this week as it really came down to the wire. Luckily for us, the great thing about football is there's always next week. Speaking of that, what week is it again?
No, didn't I tell you? It's homecoming week, as we play Western Kentucky today at 4 p.m. in the 100 Miles of Hate.
The 100 Miles of what?
The 100 Miles of Hate. The biggest rivalry game of the season. Right now we're standing in Walnut Grove, and obviously, here's our lucky blue horseshoe.
Obviously, but why are we standing here?
Well, back in 2014, there's a story, right? A group of students allegedly from WKU came down and painted our blue horseshoe red, WKU red. Well, it rained that day, and as the rains came down, our blue horseshoe shined through because it is true blue all the way through, just like me and just like you.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Yes it was, and we got the win that day, so it made it even more beautiful, Noah. MTSU leads the series 34-33, and won. There was one tie.
Oh, well, it'd be amazing if we could get our first win of the season against our rival, and it'd be on homecoming. That'd be incredible.
Oh, absolutely. And I could not be more excited to watch the Blue Raiders play.
Well, what else is going on?
That's a conversation for next week, as we're all out of time. Back to y'all from the Noahs.
Thanks to the Noahs. Much more to come on Blue Raider Extra Point. Coming up after the break, we're going to take you around the CUSA.
And Houston Chapman will have this week's Blue Raider Spotlight.
And then, something that I hope you guys are doing right along with us, the picks. Stick around for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
You're watching Blue Raider Extra Point.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
We're back at Party Foul in Murfreesboro on another college game day morning. Chase Chase, I know you've been so excited to take us around this USA, so what you got for us?
This week, I have FAU versus Charlotte. FAU hasn't had an opportunity to play a game yet just because of COVID. And then we also have, we've mentioned it so many times, 100 Miles of Hate, Western Kentucky versus MTSU. It's going to be a fun one. Let's get into it.
Around the CUSA.
Florida Atlantic is coming off the best ever season in program history in which they went 11-3, won the conference, and won the Boca Raton Bowl. Unfortunately, head coach Lane Kiffin was taken away, and now head coach is Ole Miss. Fortunately for Florida Atlantic, Chris Robinson is back under center. He is coming off of a year in which he threw for over 3,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. We will see if he can help the Owls get their first game started in the right way. Charlotte looked decent in week 1 as they were able to put up 286 total yards and average 5 yards per play, but unfortunately, they gave up 512 yards and an average of 7.2 yards per play. FAU is not the same team that App State is, but that does not mean you can have 3 turnovers against the Owls and still expect to win. Look for the 49ers to bounce back. The 100 Miles of Hate has gone back until 1914, and MTSU leads the series 34-33, and there is one tie. This year's MTSU team has not been up to par as they are 0-3 and have been shut out already this season. Asher O'Hara did bounce back against UTSA, posting 433 yards and 3 touchdowns. Against a WKU defense that has given up 487 yards per game, add in the fact it's a rivalry week, and look at the Blue Raiders to try and right the ship this week against the Hilltoppers. WKU is having a rough season as they are 0-2 this year and have not managed to do anything right as they have been outgained and outscored in both games so far. WKU does have history going for them as they have won 3 of the last 4 and have not started an 0-3 season except for in 2018 when they played Wisconsin and Louisville in their first 3 games. If Tyrell Pogrom can continue to use his legs as well as his arm, the Hilltoppers will tie up the series against the Blue Raiders.
Thanks, Chase. And now here's the full lineup of all the Conference USA games for this weekend.
Now let's head on over to Champions Run where Houston Chapman has this week's Blue Raider Spotlight.
What's up, Blue Raiders? I'm Houston Chapman here with Caroline. Caroline, tell me a little about yourself.
I'm a senior here at Middle Tennessee. I've been playing golf for, I'd say, over 10 years.
What did you do in the off season?
During COVID, I was with my swing coach a lot. Every week we were working on my overswing and going past parallel.
So how's the season going so far?
We have played in 1 tournament out of our 3 that we have lined up, and we came tied 4th as a team, and I came in tied 16th individually.
So are you a long game player or an approach player?
My long game is pretty strong, but I definitely love my approach game. I love putting. I've always considered myself a good putter.
So would you consider yourself a strong short game player?
I consider myself a pretty strong short game player.
Okay, well here's the deal. I've never played golf, but I saw it on TV and it didn't look that hard, so I think I might be able to have a better short game than you. What do you think?
I mean, we'll see.
Okay, well let's find out.
Caroline went first, and she made it look easy, getting all 5 shots on the green. Then it was my turn, and let's just say it was a struggle. I was really channeling my inner Happy Gilmore with the hockey-like shot. And as they lapped on, I knew I had lost. However, I realized there's one thing Happy Gilmore is good at. That's right, the run-up driver hit. First time's the charm.
So, we just finished hitting. How do you think I did?
Well, none of them reached the green, so not your best.
Yeah. Well, do you think I have any chance of being good at golf?
I think you should stick to putt-putt.
You know, I'll take it. I think she's right. Well, here's the deal. I've had a great time here at Champions Run Golf Course, and if you want to check out Caroline and the rest of the Blue Raider women's golf team, you can check them out on social media. And tune in next week for the next Blue Raider Spotlight.
Thanks, Houston. And he may need to work on that golf stroke a little bit, but huge thank you to Ray Pierce and Steve Graham over at Champions Run Golf Course for giving us a place to shoot.
You know, for it being his first time playing golf, it looked about as you expected it would. But enough about Houston. When we get back, we've got Zachary Loan with the Scouting Report. Stick around for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
Catch Blue Raider Extra Point right here Saturday mornings at 10:30 from Party Foul in Murfreesboro.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Time for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
Welcome back. MTSU is set to face WKU this Saturday for homecoming. Let's head over to Zachary Loan and the Scouting Report.
Thanks. This week, I'll be breaking down how MTSU's defense stacks up. MTSU needs to watch out for Western Kentucky's star quarterback Tyrell Pigrome. Pigrome leads WKU in passing and rushing yards this year. He has amassed 184 rushing yards in 31 attempts. Pigrome has also thrown for 310 yards, which has resulted in 4 touchdowns. Western Kentucky has only converted 3.5 third downs per game this year, but they are tied with the fewest attempts per game with 11. Western Kentucky has only converted 32% of their third downs, so MTSU needs to make sure they get Western Kentucky off of the field. MTSU is the worst in the FBS in third down situations with opponents converting 65% of their third downs. MTSU has forced 17 third downs per game, so this is an area to keep your eyes on throughout the game. Western Kentucky only averages 57.5 plays per game this year, which is the third worst in all of college football. But MTSU has given up 78.3 plays per game this year. This is why getting off the field on third downs will be a big key to the game for MTSU's defense. Pigrome is sacked on 8% of all offensive plays, which is 54th in the country. MTSU's defense forces sacks on 6% of plays, so MTSU will need to get to Pigrome to try and speed up his progressions. Western Kentucky does not have that many explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball, which is shown by their 4.7 yards per play average. This plays right into MTSU's defense, which allows only 5 yards per play. Keeping the big plays to a minimum is another key for MTSU's defense. Western Kentucky has only been to the red zone 5 times for their first 2 games, but they have converted the trip into touchdowns 4 times. MTSU has given up a little more than 5 attempts per game. They have only allowed 12 touchdowns in the 16 times that their opponents have entered the red zone. The game is going to be a good one as both teams match up well against each other on paper. The 100 Miles of Hate will have a new twist to the rivalry come Saturday afternoon. Back to you.
Thanks, Zachary. And now with that scouting report in mind, what are some keys to succeed for MTSU this week?
This week, my 3 keys to succeed are the same as they were last week. 1, we've got to establish a ground game. Last week against UTSA, MTSU had 191 rushing yards, and I would dare say it's the best MTSU has looked this season. Number 2, we've got to have a pass rush. For the first 2 games, we only had 1.5 sacks as a team, and that's just not going to cut it against Western Kentucky's passing attack. And number 3, you've got to win your money downs. That's first down for your offense, meaning getting 4 or more yards every first down so you can stay ahead of the chains. And then that's third down for your defense. You've got to get off the field when it counts so that way you're more prepared to be successful.
Absolutely. And my first key is completely different from last week. Let Asher throw. Assume that Russell Wilson role and be a pass-first quarterback with a running threat. Last week I mentioned Cunningham's arm was what MT needed to keep the receivers involved, but Asher threw for 370 yards and found receivers in the end zone 3 times. Be consistent and do it again. The second key is ignore bashing. With the rough start the Blue Raiders have had, it's drawn the attention of the media that they don't want. MTSU is ranked the worst in Conference USA out of the first few weeks, and that's something that needs to go in one ear and out the other. And the third key is be better. We can't keep talking about needing this win and needing the next. We just need to focus on getting the first win so we can turn our attention to the rest of the season.
Well, I really like your third key because that rolls straight into mine. Number 1, reset the mentality. No, it's not the start of the season that you wanted and hoped for. However, it isn't too late to change things around. So what better time to do it against your rival for the 100 Miles of Hate and homecoming weekend? Secondly, gain momentum. If you want to change like you want to do, then demand it. Keep the change rolling, remain control throughout the game, and you've got it covered. Key number 3, control what you can. Penalties do nothing but hurt your team, and that's something that's really hurt this team overall. You have to stay disciplined and keep things rolling for your team.
Absolutely, those are some great keys. We're going to head to break, and when we come back, we're going to have this week's picks. Stick around.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And we're back on Blue Raider Extra Point. We have a big day ahead of us, so let's go ahead and get our picks in. But before we do that, I have to mention our special guest, Fausto Lopez from MTSU Baseball. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
And good luck on your picks, but not too much. Let's go ahead and get those in. We have UTSA and UAB.
I'm going to have to go UAB for that one.
I've got UAB also.
The Blazers were in the conference championship last year, and I think they start this season out the right way. I'm going UAB.
UAB. Charlotte and FAU.
I'm going to have to go FAU, but that's a tough one, though.
I'm going Charlotte.
I think losing Lane Kiffin last year hurts the Owls in their season opener. I'm going to go with Charlotte.
I have Charlotte. Southern Miss and North Texas.
Southern Miss.
I've got North Texas. I've had them every week. They've got to win at some point.
No, they don't, and Will likes to lose. We're going to go with Southern Miss.
Well, don't worry. I've got your back. I've got North Texas. Lastly, and most importantly, the 100 Miles of Hate, MTSU and WKU.
I got MTSU on a rival dub, baby.
I've got MTSU. It's the homecoming weekend. They've got to win. This is their week. I'm going MT.
Rivalry week, homecoming. I mean, all things say that MTSU should right the ship, correct? They ain't WKU.
They have to win at some point, or so we hope, MTSU.
Check out Blue Raider Extra Point on Instagram and Twitter.
Well, that's all the time we have for you guys this week, but I'm not going to let Fausto go without asking him a question. Fausto, due to COVID, you guys had to end your season a little bit earlier than you wanted to last year. Kind of what's your guys' mentality heading into this next season?
Well, things were going really well up until COVID happened and everything. We thought team chemistry was high, so we kept up with each other over the summer and just tried to start out right where we left off last year.
Absolutely. That's coming off of the 6th hardest schedule in college baseball.
Yeah, it was a tough schedule, but we feel like we hung in there with those guys and just trying to keep that up.
And maybe we can get one more walk-off like you had last year against Lipscomb.
That's the plan, man. That's the plan.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it. Fausto, thank you so much for joining us today. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have here today. Remember to tune in every Saturday morning at 10:30 right here on Channel 9. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We want to hear from you.
And if you missed any of this episode or any of the last episodes, you can check those out on our website at middletennesseenews.net. Thank you for watching, and have a great weekend.
All right, I know it's really tough to just pick MTSU every week, guys, but we got to stop doing it.
They have to win. It's not.
No, they don't have to win. Teams don't win every year.
But this is MTSU. We're true blue.
Like Kansas went like 3 years without winning a game. Like MTSU can do that.
Rivalry week.
Are the appetizers any good here at all?
Do what?
Are the appetizers good?
Oh no, I'm way too cheap for appetizers.
See, he's not even trying to talk MTSU football. He's trying to eat something.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.